All right, so I'm gonna give you guys the video I wish I had on a 2014 through, I guess, 18 or 19 Toyota Corolla. This is an NRG steering wheel. Don't cheap out on the wheel. I went cheap and got an eBay hub. Fun fact, this car shares the same hub as the Scion FRS, Gt86, Subaru BRZ. They're the same exact hub. So again, do your research. Don't just take my word for it. But if it says BRZ or any of that other shit, like, you're good to go. So I actually, if you cheap out and don't get the NRG hub, which I didn't, if you did get the NRG, then take this with a grain of salt. I actually had to ditch my my ribbon cable steering thing that was in here, so I don't have any cruise control or any of that. I'm gonna fix that later, maybe, if I care about it enough. I have a work vehicle, so I don't really drive my car for anything but fun, and it's kind of replaced my motorcycle, so I may never get to it. No functional horn. There's actually no center cap on here. Again, I might fix it later, but for now I don't care. It works, it's secure, it's safe. For foot pedals, if you want to upgrade, now I just did this tonight, so if you want to upgrade your foot pedals, which I absolutely recommend these, they just feel better. I don't think they do anything better. Same thing with the wheel. Oh, by the way, the wheel feels great. Like, it's a little bit smaller, and it didn't, of course, improve anything but the feeling, and it feels fantastic. This is a suede. It was $107 on eBay, so there's nothing special about it, but it makes the whole car feel better. And another thing you might not know is when you disable your sorry, I don't remember, I've been drinking, but your little clock spring thing on there that, like, keeps all your steering buttons working, your cruise control, steering wheel controls, all that. When you take that out, you also lose either traction or stability control. I don't remember which one, because it's just a little car with the squiggly lines, but that's good to me, because I always used to turn it off by holding the brake and holding down the that is automatically off when you start the car, which in my opinion is perfectly fine. If you don't want that, then spend more money, get the better one, cool. But for your pedals, you're gonna want titanium drill bits. This is what I used. I recommend an Impact. It's just got a lot more torque, it spins faster, and they're relatively cheap. These are the drill bits I used. Milwaukee is, man, I've used their drill bits for work. They're great. And for this particular set, I think I used the 1/4. And they did a terrific job. Yeah, that's definitely the one I used. 1/4. Again, everything is different, but when you go and do pedals, the biggest thing you want to look out for, especially on these newer cars, this accelerator pedal on this Toyota is actually, like, as far as I can tell, it's totally plastic. So I'm gonna try to do my best to give you a good idea. All I did, sorry, I'm trying to deal with a fucked up angle here. All I did is line up the pedal as best I can and feel on this side here. There's actually little grooves. I'm gonna try to, sorry if it's not perfect, but there's little grooves in there. And you wanna make sure you're not drilling into the center of the pedal and messing with the integrity. You kinda wanna shift it over left or right, depending on, you know, your car and your preference and everything, to where you can get the, in my case, they were 10mm nuts, just to the left or right of the center of the pedal, because the center of the pedal is going to have some integrity built on it. The rest is just kind of spaced out with little, like, grooves. So if you do happen to find a place where you have the grooves, that's cool, just drill them out, and you actually don't have to get behind here. I just took my drill, after I got my holes, I just made a little base line. I set my pedal up and just kind of slowly sped it, that way I had a mark. I pulled the pedal off, and I would mess and see if I had enough space. If I didn't, I'd take the drill and just kind of destroy those little grooves in there, because the integrity of the pedal isn't really compromised. And if it is in 40 years or whatever, then so be it. These are actually the easiest ones. They're totally metal. We'll see if we can get a better idea of what they look like. But you want to offset them so they're not in the center of the weld where the pedal is, if that makes any sense. So you go to the left or the right. Again, it's totally your preference. Put the nut on. You're definitely going to want a set of these T-handle Allen keys. They were at Harbor Freight. They've never let me down for my motorcycle or from anything I've ever worked on. They're my work tools. They're my hobby tools. They have been great, and I've torqued on them pretty good. They're like $7 or $8 at Harbor Freight. But you want to get these. In this case, this was a 4mm. And you hold that down, put a 10mm behind it. Just make sure you take your time and drill, because you kind of only get one chance at drilling. And because if you fuck up the drill, you know, and you have to go over to the side. I actually, see, here's a point that I'm getting to. This clutch right here, there's actually no bolt. It's the only one out of like the 7 bolts I put in or so that I didn't put that top screw, the other screw in. The other ones have all of them. I kind of couldn't, because this guy, I don't know if you can see it, so if you can, I'm sorry, but this was in my way and it wouldn't thread through, and it holds good enough. So I recommend, after you get them set up and they thread through and everything, back them out and Loctite them. And I mean, it's my first night with them, man, but I'm pretty good at telling if I'm gonna have a problem with something, and they're dead on. So that's been a dream of mine. If you don't want to fuck with pedals, that's cool, but makes the whole car feel better, man. It feels like a totally different car. So anybody thinking about your FRS, BRZ, Toyota Corolla, getting a new steering wheel, as long as the airbag light doesn't bother you, let's see, I'll crank it and try to show you all that happens. So just make sure you disconnect your negative terminal from the battery. All you need is a 10mm. Crank it up. These are the lights that come on. So there's like, I don't know if that's stability control or traction control. Doesn't matter. Front wheel drive, and it's a weak car.